So yeah, I'm trying this because Facebook has me completely locked. Understand this. I have over 6,000 following, like whatever, on my band page. Over 6,000 people have not it's not my friend page, so it's people looking me up from school or whatever. It's not like that. It's 6,000 people who have come across what I do in some form of another, or some form or another, and they've said to Facebook, I like what this guy does. Please let me know when he goes live. Please let me know when he posts new things. So the idea that I go live and there's nothing. And then when it ends, I find out that there was 6 views on it. Like, even though there's 6 views is fucking ridiculous, but I didn't see anything. I actually got a comment from somebody who tagged somebody else, but I never saw them there. No bubble, no little one in the corner, nothing. And it seems like my level of censorship, it's either my level of censorship or people just don't like me, goes up by the day. The day. Some days for a short period of time there. And the thing is, I just got back on Facebook after a 60-day block. I don't know how many of you have ever had a 60-day block. I never have. 60-day block because I'm, quote, a dangerous person for asking whether Israel is the 51st state of the United States and talking about Israel and reading Israeli news. The problem was the everyday censorship. So I normally I have at least 2 trolls pages, 2 troll accounts that appear. Now, mind you, they not only do they use a fake identity, I don't know who it actually is, they use my recently dead grandmother's profile picture as one of the accounts. I mean, they have hundreds of accounts, but the latest ones are my dead grandmother because, oh, that hurts. But they're always there, usually. So I had been calling them out, calling out the fact that, like, if I'm wrong, why don't you just, you've done a great job, right? You've brainwashed the people, and the reason why things work the way they work is our self-policing. It's not the policing that's literally put on us. It's our self-policing. We police each other. We police thought. We police ideas. Somebody says something that we might not agree with, so we use that as an excuse to ridicule and belittle them. And in our society, it's not okay to do that unless it falls under a few things: earth shape, whether or not somebody believes in God, when you question Israel and all that stuff, then you're allowed to be attacked. It's okay. But if you tell a fat person they're fat, and you're concerned about how fat they are, well, that's terrible. That's terrible. You can't say those things. Point out how Israel murders people and all that, and that's not allowed. But yeah, that's not allowed. But call somebody fat, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. It's weird, right? So I've been calling them out. Just if I'm wrong, which you claim, then remove whatever governor, whatever thing is on my page, and let the people bust me out. So it happened. One day, my feed, I noticed it almost right away, but like it's weird. You can just sort of tell, and obviously the number goes up, but all of a sudden the number starts going up, and we get to like, you know, it hovers between like 60 and 80, you know, and it does this for a while. You know, I didn't do the feed that as long that day, but by the time I was done, that video had 8,000 views, and after a few days, it went up to 11,000. The next day, I went live again, and this time, the video, when it's done, has 15,000 views, and it jumps up to 18,000. The next day, I can only assume we were at the 20,000 mark, because that seems to be the point where they usually get mad and shut me down, is when I can achieve 20,000 views. But the watching number was consistently higher, you know, and I maintained this number for 4 hours. And that was the video where I was talking about Israel being the 51st state. And, you know, again, normally I just read Israeli news. But that video got me my 60 days for being a dangerous person. So, the idea that here we are 2 months later, well, 90 days later, I guess, maybe less, and I have zero, and I don't have zero, but I'm shown zero. That's just not how things work. That's not how social media works. You know, it's just what it is. And the thing is, there was an article that came out last week, maybe it was earlier this week, where it proving that Israel controls Facebook, and that the piece of shit Israelis they here, I'm gonna find it for you, actually, just to prove it to you, because I know people are gonna be weird about it. Al Jazeera journalist profile removed from Facebook. All right, so let's see how many people are actually, how many places talked about this. 2 weeks ago, Al Jazeera did it. International Federation of Journalists posted about it. Palestine Chronicle posted about it. The Business Standard posted about it. Doha News in Qatar posted about it. NewsClick posted about it. So those are the only news agencies that are talking about this. Now, let it be some other way around. Let it be some goofy Israeli gets their feelings hurt because they didn't want to throw them a party, which happened in Peru, or Chile, or, you know, an Israeli fell down and hurt their knee during a bomb raid, or while air raid sirens were going off. They fell and hurt their. That shit gets reported, and that shit will get reported by, much larger news networks. So the fact that nobody is reporting on this, none of the big news agencies are reporting on this. That's kind of strange, don't you think? But anyway, Al Jazeera Arabic presenter Tamir Al-Misal had his Facebook profile deleted by Meta 24 hours after the program Tip of the Iceberg aired an investigation into Meta's censorship of Palestinian content titled The Locked Space. The program's investigation, which aired on Friday, included admissions by Eric Barbing, former head of Israel's cybersecurity apparatus, whatever the fuck that means, about his organization's effort to track Palestinian content, including according to criteria that included liking a photo of a Palestinian killed by Israeli forces. Then the agency would approach Facebook and argue that the content should be taken down. According to Barbing, Facebook usually complies with the request, and Israel's security apparatus follows up cases, including bringing court cases if need be. The investigation followed up on Barbing's admissions by interviewing a number of human and digital rights experts who agreed that there was a distinct imbalance in how Palestinian content is restricted. The program also interviewed Julie Owano, a member of Facebook's oversight board, who admitted there is a discrepancy in how rules are interpreted and applied to Palestinian content, and added that recommendations had been sent to Facebook to correct this. They just can't correct it. Recommendations. So the journal, I'm not going to read the rest, but the journalist had over 700,000 following, 700,000 following. And what you have, I can't get over how important this one paragraph is. Eric Barbing, the former head of Israel's cybersecurity apparatus, said that the agency would approach Facebook and argue that content should be taken down. How? How does anybody approach Facebook about anything? Google contact Facebook. Whatever email address you find, it's going to just kick it back. But how do you contact Facebook? And not just contact Facebook, but within 24 hours, you're able to bring them something you don't like, so they then, and you say to Facebook, we don't like this. And whether it's true or not doesn't matter. Facebook just complies. Usually complies. Meaning there's probably one or two times where they didn't, and it was a whole shitstorm. Like, this is really weird, but it proves the point, right? For everybody that thinks that there's, like, to me, it's just stupid. Like, I didn't even need this article to tell me. Anybody that thinks that the system gives us YouTube, they give us Facebook. So I broke this down one time. There are 2.9 billion Facebook users worldwide. If Facebook said, look, we are going to try to fix the world, okay? We're going to do everything we can to make the world a better place. And we're including all of you in this effort. So, from combat pedophiles to, for veterans organizations, for women's rights, for homeless, for all these wonderful things. That would mean Facebook could contribute $2.9 billion every month to different causes. Now, that's on the good side of things. On the other side, $2.9 billion worth of profit every single month that could be split up amongst the shareholders, split up amongst, whoever the owners, and they don't want it because they're going to lose a couple of people. They're going to lose a percentage of the population if that comes to be. And Big Brother's always wanted, cameras in every home and all that stuff. That's always been like the sort of open goal, that to have a completely surveyed a society under complete surveillance. Well, we're not going to allow that. Well, actually, I guess we are, because lots of people have cameras all over their house just to have cameras all over their house. But Facebook is the thing that it's like the Cliff's Notes version. We tell them exactly what we like, what we don't like, who we're voting for, what our preferences are, all that stuff. We're just happy to give that to Facebook. And if they threaten to take that away from us, we'd riot. People would be mad, especially with the years of memories they have stored in their Facebook account. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. But of that 2.9 billion people, even if it's 0.5%, my math's not very good, but that's got to be like 1 million people at least that they would lose because they're like, fuck that, I'm not paying $1 for this bullshit, fuck them. And they don't want to lose those eyes on those people. They don't want to lose those tabs on those people. So they give it to us. They give us the YouTube. They give us the Facebook. What, you think they really do that for free? And they don't, not only do they not benefit from it, they don't, they can't censor what they want. They can't manipulate the thing they provide us how they want to. You honestly think that? You honestly think the free Facebook can't censor whoever the fuck they want to? Facebook is a private organization. It's a private company. It's a McDonald's. It doesn't matter what you think. It's their company. And what you don't realize is that you sign over all your rights and shit when you sign up for that. All the shit you put on there, you're signing it over to them. So if you honestly think that Facebook isn't censoring people that they don't like, and that article I just read you wasn't enough, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know what other than me having a letter signed by the president saying, yes, indeed, we do censor people. Is that what it's going to take? Because you'll never get that. You have to catch them when they slip. And they've mentioned it multiple times. There was an article months ago where they were complaining that that Israeli sympathetic, pro-Israeli content creators were being censored by Facebook and other social media networks, and that they were being shadow banned. They kept using that terminology. And it's like, I thought shadow banning was a conspiracy theory. But here and I've always said the Israelis are stupid, right? The only reason that they're so prominent is because they trick us into thinking for them. And then they take what we do. Like Einstein. Einstein just happened to work in a patent office before he became Einstein. Right, that makes sense. But that's how they do it. They steal. They're not creative, they're stupid. They're stupid, but they're ruthless. That's the difference. And when you're told that you're special, you're chosen by God your whole life, that creates this irrational arrogance that's it's unwarranted. But it's that, you know, it's that idea that you can't be talked about. Nobody could say anything about you. Like it's a really weird, crazy thing, but and it checks all those boxes. Like we all know, they've told us this in history lessons and shit, that like the worst dictators on the planet wouldn't let the people, if they found out the people were talking bad about the king, then the king would, you know, would have them executed. And neighbors would tell on each other all the time because there'd be a bounty, like, you know, and sometimes they'd lie. You know, he said this about that, about the king, just to get a fucking bounty. But that's how dictatorships always work. They don't want you talking about them. And it's not just talking the bad stuff. They don't want you talking about them, period, because, you know, you can't talk about the good for very long. You know, it's eventually going to lead you into asking questions. Wow, how did they get so prominent? Wait. Controlling the money, the government, and the media, that's a slur? How is that a slur? The only way that would be a slur, or at least a negative, is if it's true and you could make things better, but you choose not to. Like, we all think there's something wrong with our society, and we're always looking to put the blame on something. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's those darn black people, and they're you know, they're just, you know, we always do shit like that. We're always looking to blame. So if the blame was concrete, and it was one of those things where we could all get behind it, you know, it was something that was true, so we could all, like, oh, look, it's true, it's right there. Then that's a powerful force. They can't stop that shit. So again, so the long version of why I'm here, right? Because my Facebook page has been absolutely, completely censored. Unless somebody can explain to me how 6,000 following and nobody's there, nobody appears to be there. There are people there, it just doesn't show me. Please explain it. Please put it in a reasonable, articulate way, and so I can't argue it. So I go, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. And be prepared. I may have an argument or two. So, you know, be strong in your conviction and be like, no, it's this. And like, understand, it's just like anything else. Just, yeah, Bubba.
My brother is calling this guy white. My brother asked me, is this guy black? I said yes. This guy's black, right?
I don't think so. I think he's like Mexican or something.
Yeah, he's mixed, but he still mostly looks like he's black. So we're going.
I'd say he's brown.
Yeah, but it's either black or black.
It's not. There's not either black or white. You should be more Pacific. So yeah, that's it's like when I always want to, I like to make arguments, and like I like saying things that you're a dumbass for arguing against me. I like to put my arguments in a way that you feel like a dick if you argue. And I think that's why I'm showing you, because how are you going to say that I'm making it up? I'm making it up, right? I'm making it up to the point where I have Al Jazeera writing a fake story just to prove my point. Is that how that works? So I tried to talk to my Facebook constituency about the Brian Mullin situation and wasn't allowed to. Because, I don't know, yesterday, by the time it came around, I was already out of video making mode and I wasn't in my best form. But you know, and I've had a day to digest things and think about it, and it's crazy. It's crazy, especially when you like. It's something that you never really see people doing, you know, or if you do, it's like you know, they've sort of scripted it out. You know, they have all their tabs pulled up and they have their pages and all that, and it's not a journey of discovery. It's a journey of check this out, and that's, you know, the difference between what I do and what a lot of people do is I want you guys to come on the journey with me. You know, I want you guys to have the same level of understanding I have, and that only comes from looking for yourself. And that's what I do. I don't watch videos online nearly as like Brian Mullin was. It's funny because Brian Mullin was a key contributor to that. You know, it was, I ended up feeling dumb, right? I felt like I had been duped. I felt like I'd been fooled when the whole Brian Mullin thing was said and done. And between Brian Mullin and Ken O'Keefe, those were the last two guys that I consistently vouched for, that I would consistently, you know, like Ken O'Keefe, I was willing to take a back seat to. Like, all right, man, you're him, you're the guy. I'm gonna watch what you have to say. But in Brian, it was just, you know, it was refreshing. It was just so refreshing that somebody was doing something differently. And I was very inspired by that, you know, and it was extremely disappointing when that fourth video came out. I believe it's fourth. You know, I could be wrong at this point. I don't, you know, where the one video comes out, and at the end of it, he's talking about the Bible, and you know, he's starting to think that maybe the Bible has more answers than he thought. And then it's the Bible has all the answers, and, you know, and then he just sort of went fucking nuts. And it was like I was embarrassed that I had told people, like, this is the guy, you got to watch him, you know. And it's just like the same thing with Ken O'Keefe, and it's really crazy how similar their stories are now that you think about it, you know. The Ken O'Keefe videos where he's doing the campus tour or whatever it was, and he's doing all these speaking engagements. Those were made around the same time that Brian was putting out his, you know, his videos, his Balls Out Physics 1, 2, and 3. And you know, and with Ken, there's a series of videos, and then it just stops. And the last video in that series of videos is not his video. It's a group of ADL protesters who are outside a venue that he's at, and they're yelling, and they zoom in on his face as he's looking out the window, and he looks like he's scared. And that was the sort of end of Ken O'Keefe, and then the whole, you know, again, it's strange to me how big a part of that whole situation I was. And you know, I'm uncredited and all that shit, but I was a big part of it. Like I was, you know, Rudy, Maxa, and what was that chick's name? I don't even remember what the chick's name was. But there was, 2 handlers had reached out to me and told me, I'm going to give you information. You just can't say you're getting it from me. And at first I played along. I knew what was happening. I knew I was being used. I knew what was going on, but I thought I might be able to make it work to my advantage. And it was maybe a week before I was like, all right, let's blow the lid off of this thing. And as soon as I told one of them that I was talking to the other one, within, hours, minutes maybe, I don't know. This was many years ago. I get a message from the other one saying, I told you not to say anything about me. I'm just going to have to end this now. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And it was funny. And I was like, well, I don't like being used anyway. So, but like the Ken O'Keefe story, I was dropping this story before it was coming out. And I talked to a fake Ken O'Keefe, at least I believe. And then, he disappeared for a long time. But his shit was, like, everything with him was a much quicker paced thing. He was a different, more aggressive type of a character. So his candle burned out faster than Brian's did. But it ends with a GoFundMe campaign that raises, over $100,000, and Ken just takes off. And he disappears for a year plus. And when he shows back up like nothing happened. And it's sort of treated like nothing happened, but then at the same time, it's a completely different scenario this time. Now he's getting in all sorts of trouble, and boy, you sure don't want to be a truther because, man, I sure am experiencing it bad. And like, it was just strange. And it's like, man, Ken, you could easily come here and be a superstar. Why would you be going anywhere else that you're in danger? You come here, you're a superstar, and your reach is bigger than it could be. Like, to think that you reach more people by going to places, you don't. I mean, and not like at first, like for me, if I was allowed to be sit in front of 500 people, 1,000 people, well, that would be a lot more people than I have right now. But if I wasn't censored to bejesus, there's no way I could reach as many people as I do on social media. So, covered quite a few bases in the last 33 minutes. 33. So the Brian Mullin thing is just strange. And it's even more strange after the fact. The fact that that after everything is said and done, Brian Mullin puts out a video and nobody's seen, like, I thought maybe it's just that I'm not looking things up the right way, so I just looked up Brian Mullin, and it's not. These are the only 2 videos that exist of this video, and each one only has like 500-600 views. How is that fucking possible? How is that possible? But so I reached out to that guy that put that video out, because one of them, so if you Google where's Brian Mullin and then you sort it by date, it'll go newest to oldest. You scroll down maybe 1 or 2, you're gonna see the Brian Mullin, leave me alone videos, making fun of us videos. And those are from 3 months ago. And the video just before those, and see, this is forever documented, right? There can't be another video that comes in and is inserted in between those two videos coming out. It can't happen. If it's Brian Mullin related, I made my video, and the next video with anything Brian Mullin was the response video where Brian is like, please, don't call people, basically. He's talking to me. And after you watch that video I showed earlier, the one that the mirrored copy, or you go to my videos and the first Where's Brian Mullin video, you skip to the 50-minute mark, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But I called his boss, and his boss, instead of going, yeah man, Brian went through some personal stuff, it was really hard, he just wanted to take some time off, and nothing crazy, just got overwhelmed. I'd have been like, oh, well, hey man, tell him, wish him the best, and I hope everything's good for him. Thanks for the update. That would have been the end of it. Instead, he does what Israel does, and go figure, he's super chosen. But he does he says, oh, you didn't hear? Brian was abducted by aliens. Like, why would you say something so stupid? Why would you stoke the fire? Only to then the next day, later that day, the next day, maybe a day after, or a couple days after, I don't know. But sometime after I make mine, Brian puts out a video saying, don't do what I did. Does that even make sense? You know what? That's the other thing I wanted to do. Let's look up Airte engineers. R-Teen Engineering. R-Teen, here we go. This isn't the same website. That's it. That's rteenengineering.com. No, that's R10. Oh, yeah, that's R-Time. R-Teen Engineering isn't there anymore. R-Teen Engineering.com. This site cannot be reached. There we go. Okay, so R-Teen Engineers. Oh, engineers. That's what it is. rteenengineers.com. Thought it was engineering. So this is it. This is the page that... there, now you can see it. Call that number. This is R-Teen Engineers. This is what Brian belongs to. This is where Brian works. So about us. I can't read it like that, so sorry. Who are we? Through our God-given talents. That's a great way to start. That's an introduction, right? This is an engineering firm who starts with the first thing about us is through our God-given talents. What? Education and experiences. We strive to serve our clients and employees with excellence and an attitude of partnership. Boy, that sounds like how people talk, doesn't it? So this is the guy, Sean Asul. That's the guy, that's Sean with Arcane Engineers. Arte or whatever the fuck it's called. So this is, I'm doing basically the same video I did 3 months ago, but it's with a whole different perspective. So Sean is the principal engineer. Now listen, this is his bio. Sean Asul is a licensed professional engineering and certified bridge safety inspector with over 20 years of experience in civil and structural engineering. After high school, Sean enlisted in the U.S. Army, where he was stationed in Germany and spent much of his spare time taking courses with the University of Maryland European College and traveling throughout Western Europe. Almost like he was on a pilgrimage, huh? Strange. Using the GI Bill, Sean graduated with a BS, bullshit, in civil engineering from Pennsylvania State University. From there, Sean worked for a consulting firm where he had the opportunity to design large interstate DOT bridges, Department of Transportation bridges, and gain bridge inspection experience. After deciding to move back to his hometown for a while, Sean worked for the District 1 Bridge Unit at Penn DOT, at Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, where they also allowed him to intern for some reason. He was just allowed to intern there, where he oversaw the design for dozens of bridge and bridge preservation projects. In 2009 and 10, he was selected to be the structural engineering advisor for the Marine Corps Command Element Headquarters in Camp Leatherlock, Afghanistan. Wow, that's an incredible journey. There, he had an opportunity to serve alongside Marines at several of the battalion and company-sized bases, assisting with base expansion and bridge repair plans. Following his wife Janet, Sean moved to the mountains of North Carolina in 2011, where he gained experience working for North Carolina Department of Transportation as a consultant. Here, he served in roles such as construction engineering and inspection, CEI, bridge design engineering, safety inspector of in-service bridges, NBSI, and railroad bridge design engineering for CSX. It's so funny to me that, like, two of the big points that Brian made in his videos was that railroads and bridges don't account for the round earth. And that and Brian never mentions having worked for a bridge design. Like, he said he was an engineer, but he never said I specifically worked for this. Anyway, Sean oversees the day-to-day operations of Arte Engineers and enjoys inspecting bridges and reviewing structural engineering projects. He is currently licensed in 15 states, including North Carolina, and most of the Southeast. He lives in Boone, North Carolina, with Janet and sons Jonathan and Zachary. Janet Alsul. She's a wash engineer. He married an engineer too. Janet Ausel, A-U-S-E-L, Ausel, is a licensed professional engineer with over 22 years of experience in environmental engineering and international relief and development work. Dude, she must be old as shit. Wow. She has extensive experience in site environmental assistance, experience in site environmental assessment and remediation work, as well as international water and sanitation engineering. She has worked on water, sanitation, and hygiene WASH projects in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, South America, and the Caribbean. Boy, it's a list of interesting places. Janet graduated with a BS in 1995 and a Master's of Engineering in 1996. Both in civil and environmental engineering from Cornell. For nearly a decade, Janet worked in environmental consulting in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. In 2003, she began assisting with water and sanitation designs for Engineering Ministries International projects in Africa, and joined staff with them in 2005 in their Uganda office. Man, they just happen to work in all the places where like shit goes down. Weird, huh? While in Uganda, she spent 5 years managing and leading groups of engineers, architects, surveyors, and designing orphanages, schools, Bible colleges, and water projects throughout East Africa. Janet joined Samaritan's Purse in December 2010 and served as water and sanitation advisor through 2017, supporting WASH projects around the world. She has traveled to and advised SP WASH programming in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, South America, and the Caribbean. Through Erte Engineers, she currently provides WASH consulting services to international nonprofit organizations. She lives in Boone with her husband Sean and their sons Jackery. Janet is a licensed professional engineer. 2017. So this was made in 2017 or 18 is when this. Well, no, because again, there's that one person, Adam Flemley. Adam Flemley is a principal engineer. Adam is a licensed professional engineer with over 15 years of experience in manufacturing, design, and structural engineering in the communication, residential, and transportation industries. He has extensive experience with both private companies and government agencies. Adam has successfully completed the FHWA NHI 13,005 safety inspection of in-service bridges course. That's a big deal. Adam graduated with a Bachelor's of Science. It's not a BS in this. They're varying things up. In mechanical engineering from Cedarville University, Cedarville, Ohio. In 2004, after graduation, he worked in the manufactured housing industry and become familiar with the aspects of residential engineering. From 2006 to 2015, Adam was an engineer and engineering manager at a small growing manufacturing company in the communications industry. Adam began working with Erte Engineers part-time in 2014 and became a full-time member of the Erte team in 2016. During this time, he prepared plans and calculations for many North Carolina Department of Transportation post-award construction projects, including demo and erection, nice, retaining walls, bridge deck overhangs, maintenance and protection of traffic, and bridge jacking. Adam has successfully completed that fucking test, safety inspection of in-service bridges course, and works as a bridge inspection team leader. Good thing they mentioned that again for some reason. In addition to Department of Transportation work, he has experience with some more specialized projects. These projects have included structural engineering using fiberglass reinforcement polymer, FRP. In particular, Erte Engineer has designed and fabricated an 80-foot FRP pedestrian bridge for the Julian Price Memorial Park on the Mountain to Seas Trail. Yeah, that's like, watch, we'll get to it, but that's their one like claim to fame here. Adam lives in Lenore, North Carolina with his wife and 4 children, Arcadia, Titus, Arlie, and Amelia. Adam is a licensed professional engineer and a certified bridge safety inspector. Why would you put your kids' names on here? Like, they're trying to be like, look, no, we're really real. Look, this is a really real thing. Look, here's our kids' names. Who's gonna put their kids' names on a fucking page like that? Like, that's just weird. But that's the 2 that own it, and now one more. Now the next person up is, our boy Brian Mullin. Let's read his bio. Brian has over 12 years of civil and structural engineering experience in the transportation, commercial, industrial, telecommunications, and residential sectors. He has extensive experience working with city and state agencies, as well as with architects, developers, and contractors. He is currently a professional engineer licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and Virginia. In the summer of 2017, Brian successfully completed that fucking safety inspection and service highways bridges to become a certified bridge safety inspector. Brian graduated with a BS in civil engineering from the University of North Florida in 2007. After graduation, he went to work for private consulting firms performing construction engineering inspection of bridge and toll facility expansions in the Central Florida area. I could have sworn, He quickly changed directions to focus on structural engineering and design for high-speed open road tolling facilities, public bridges, municipal utility sites, and fleet maintenance structures throughout the state of Florida. In 2012, Brian moved into the private sector, designing new buildings and modifying existing structures for command clients such as Publix supermarkets and LA Fitness. Brian returned to the public sector in 2014, where he became the structural engineering department manager for a consulting firm which specializes in open road tolling facilities servicing Florida's Turnpike Enterprise and Florida's Department of Transportation. Since joining Erte in the fall of 2016, so like literally just after he disappeared, he has been primarily focused on structural engineering and design of his commercial and residential design of commercial and residential structures. He also assists in inspection of bridges for the North Carolina Department of Transportation. So that's 2. Then we have Tristan Samarjane. That's 3. Martin Russ. That's 4. David Thompson Jr. It looks like they got all their pictures taken like they came to a house to get their pictures taken. They're not at an office building. They're clearly at a house. Look at the overhangs and stuff. Look at the engineering behind them. This is Turner Trivet. That's David Thornton Jr., William Holyfield, Jamie Coleman, Gwyn Thai, Brenlin Moore, Mason Baumgartner, Michael Wiseman Floyd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 engineers on staff, and then the 2 owners, I guess, the husband and wife. But then again, Adam Flemley he's a principal engineer, so he might be an owner as well. All right? So that's at least 12 people that have to be on payroll, and apparently they all have lots of kids and all that stuff, right? So you would think they would have just tons and tons of work. Right? Explore our recent.
Can I use the phone? Huh?
No.
Okay, Nick, we're playing through that. Yeah.
Explore our yes, Nick. Our recent projects. The Watatung Wayfinding Sign Foundation. This looks new. I don't think I remember this. Arte Engineers. Hey guys, Nick, stop. Oh yeah, hey Nathan, no, he doesn't have to be, no, play something else. Okay, yeah, let him be first player. You don't like that part. Why don't you like that part, Nate? Nick, I'm not talking to you. Nate, come here, please. Huh? Nate, come here, please. Come here, please. Right. So, you have to understand, it's really boring. Like, it's so boring that you don't want to do it, right? Like, why don't you want to be second player?
Because it's my game and he always
No. That's not the reason. Being second player is really boring, right?
Yeah.
So you can understand why. I know you want somebody to do that. That's why you have a little brother, but you don't have a little brother. It'd be great if you had, like, you know, Jonathan or something here, and he could play that guy. But, you know, you can't expect that from Nick, dude. He's not going to want to do it. Just like you wouldn't. Thanks, bud. So this company with all these structural engineers, bridge designers, all this other crap, right? Super company. This is the most recent project they have. Arte Engineering provided services for 41 proposed sign structures consisting of up to 4 different sign types. They made signs. Yep, that makes sense, doesn't it? The bridge company's making signs. Or the structural and bridge engineers are making signs. Signs will be installed across Watauga County to give directions to different points of interest within the county. Drafting and visual design completed by Destination by Design. So they drafted and did the visual designing. So what did Arate do? Structural design includes thickness of main vertical post, design of horizontal member, design of connections, and footing foundation design. They put up some signs. We worked with the manufacturer to switch the main vertical post from steel to aluminum. We inspected the foundation holes and rebar to ensure the proper installation. Structural details: concrete pier foundation with reinforcement, post-based construction to foundation, structural frame sizing, structural frame connections. So they built a sign and put it in a hole. Funny how there's no dates. Can't find the date. Treehouse Village. They built Treehouse Village. The certified, come on, guys! The certified structural building engineers and inspectors, and they took the FUCK, PUMP, DUNK test, 3000. They passed that test to become the highway inspector. Brian, who was the toll, I thought he was a toll booth operator, to be honest with you. But he's the manager of the toll booths, and then like I didn't even bother reading all of the rest of the engineers, but all of the rest of the engineers have similar, you know, pretty impressive qualifications. Graduated from Cornell, wash engineer all over Uganda and South Africa and Afghanistan and, you know, all these crazy things, and you're a military engineer and yada 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 yada. In your latest project, you were building signs. That you didn't even design. You just put them in the hole and built the holder. This is what Brian Mullin is doing, guys. I'd say you can't make this stuff up, but I hate that saying. And somebody clearly did. Somebody made all this up. The next one is the Project Treehouse Village. Arete engineers provided structural engineering and construction documents for 6 individual whimsical tree houses with varying elevated bridges, walkways between them. The project is located on the sloped side of a mountain in Tennessee, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The most recent project of this North Carolina-based company is in Tennessee. Well, the second most recent project, sorry. They don't even have offices in Tennessee. They just have offices in North Carolina. But somebody in Tennessee was like, I don't want to give any local work or anything. Plus, there's probably no engineers that can do that. So I'm going to hire these probably really expensive engineers to do this. Now remember, they have 14 engineers on staff. The tree houses and elevated bridges walkways were conveniently framed with lumber, or conventionally framed with lumber and supported by black locust log columns. Some of the bridge's walkways also included ropes, cables, and other tension systems for support. What's going on?
How is he surviving all of it?
The columns were embedded in cylindrical concrete footings with rebar dowels installed through the columns to provide a connection between the concrete and the wood. Kind of like the holes they dug in the previous picture. The tree houses are various sizes and shapes, and some have second floor level and constructed. Some have second floor level and constructed with built-in ladder to access upper level. Man, somebody wasn't hoping we'd read this far. Arete completed construction documents in the early spring of 2017 and performed construction inspection to assist in completion of the project. 2017. It is 2023, almost 2024. The second to last project that these guys did was in 2017, and you think that's fucking reasonable? They have 14 engineers on staff. Well, I guess, a couple of them were considered interns, but those interns have been interns since then. Guys, if you're watching this video, take a second to share it on Facebook or something like that. It's crazy that no one's talking about Brian Mullin, especially considering he put out a video 3 months ago, apparently. And it was either the day that the day of or within a couple days of the last time I basically made this same video, where I called Sean of Airte Engineers, and he told me Brian was abducted by aliens. I don't have to make this stuff up. It's all recorded. You can go watch it for yourself. Structural details, structural engineering challenges for high wind and slope site, decay-resistant black locust columns with cylindrical concrete foundations, fixed and swinging elevated walkways and bridges with tension systems for support, conventional lumber framing used to provide a unique look. It's like a rich kid's playhouse. In the back of one of their homes, probably Sean's home, they built this elaborate treehouse system for his kids. That's the second most recent thing that they've done. Back in 2017. Let's look up the next thing. 3-story cliff deck. Airte Engineers inspected the existing 2-story deck that was originally supported by black locust log posts. The log posts had deteriorated. Well, then what's the point of using them? And were in need of replacement to prevent failure of the deck. Due to the height and steep slope, Airte designed an angled replacement lower post and added lower deck system with tie-back anchors to solid rock. Dude, somebody just gave up and added lower deck system with tie-back anchors to solid rock. It's missing a couple words. This allowed for the post to be replaced with normal length 8x8 pressure-treated wood posts. The added lower deck was also usable, resulting in a structurally, oh my God, come on. Structurally sound 3-story deck when construction was finished. The owner had originally planned to repair the deck and sell the property, but then they were so pleased with the finished deck, they decided to keep it. I wonder if this deck, because it looks like it's in the same spot as the treehouse, I wonder if this is also Sean's big house. Again, no dates. No dates, but it must have been before 2017 or in 2017. Fraser's Pavilion. Airte Engineers assisted in the design of a pavilion structure located in Beach Mountain, North Carolina. This wedding and event structure required large open bay doors in a high wind, high exposure location. Airte took over. Why is that blue? Let's click on that. See what happens. That's really weird. Okay, took over completion of structural construction documents for the project in early 2019. Oh, well, why would this be listed? That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's keep going. The project consisted of a wood-framed floor combined with an existing slab to support assembly-level live loads. You know what? I forgot to, the interns, I think the latest one was 2020. It might have been 21. So the last time somebody did something with this page, as far as I know, was 2020 or 21. So 2019 fits in there. Don't get that twisted. The roof structure was framed with, I don't care. Okay. So again, this could be a pavilion right down the road. They all look like they're on the same property. Oh, let's see, Blowing Rock Residence. The project shown below involved structural addition of a single-family residence located in Blowing Rock, North Carolina. The residence was constructed on a steep slope of the site mountain, which required tall foundation walls and segmented block retaining walls. The architectural design and drawings were provided by Maryland Architecture. The architectural design and drawings. So the project shown below involved structural engineering and drawing services. But the design and drawings were provided by Maryland Architecture. Here we go. Here's oh look, it's a three-framed, three-story house. It looks like that same house. And the thing is, this is one house at the top, but these two pictures are fucking what's it called? Like a Tomb Raider. Like, look at how bad those graphics are. And what's this? Oh, and then here's the side of that house. This is just weird. Okay, so single family house. So again, these could all be Sean's house. Mountains to Sea Bridge Trail. This is their big project, right? The Mountains to Sea Trail needed a crossing over from Boone Fork Creek, about 1 mile from the Price Lake picnic area. This is where the Mountains and Seas Trail splits from the very popular Boone Fork Trail. The location for the bridge was selected at a point where rock outcroppings on either side of the Boone Fork Creek provided natural bridge supports, which were about 80 feet apart. The ideal bridge type for this location was a fiber-reinforced polymer. Remember, we read about that bridge. The bridge, scaffolding, and construction equipment was airlifted to the project site with a helicopter. The abutments were constructed first. This involved chipping away 3 feet of rock to the east end of the seat. To the east end. Okay. 3 feet of rock at the east end to seat the abutments below a fissure in the rock. Next, the scaffolding was construction under the full length of the bridge. After the abutments and scaffolding was in place, the next step was to construct the bridge superstructure. The contractor was able to accomplish this within 4 days. Airte Structures provided the necessary construction documents and assembly instructions for the contractor to follow. So they provided the instructions? What? Delivery. Construction, concrete, and other heavy materials can be either lifted by helicopter or carried in by hand to the construction site. That's that. Read about our FRP. Right? Prefab FRP truss and I-beam bridges. Airte Structures is not just a bridge supplier. We help guide your project from conception to completion. Our sister company, Airte Engineers, can provide engineering services from preliminary design through construction management. Oh, I didn't know this was a second page. Airte difference. Critical components, pre-assembly certification. Pre-assembled bridge components guarantee the perfect fit and function prior to shipment. Precision CNC parts. Human error is eliminated when parts are fabricated by CNC machines. FRP truss and I-beam stringer bridges are the ideal solution for remote pedestrian crossings or in areas where low maintenance is desired. Lightweight, compared to steel, FRP is approximately a quarter of the weight, making it ideal for remote locations where all bridge components could be carried to the construction site by hand. Can be assembled by unskilled in quote, labor. All individual bridge parts are prefabricated and ready to be assembled on site. Economical choice for remote locations. Corrosion resistance, material is extremely durable. Moderate span lengths. Clear span lengths of up to 80 feet are achievable. Jesus, that's so weird because that last bridge was 80 feet long. That's fucking convenient. fiber reinforced polymer. Fiber reinforced polymer, or FRP, is manufactured by a process called protrusion, which uses glass strands that are pulled through a die and embedded in the polymer, making it a strong, durable product that can be used in multiple structural applications. About FRP decking can be used on all types of pedestrian and light vehicle bridges. Decking could be used for any number of uses, including boardwalks, decks, mezzanines, stair treads, etc. Advantages of using FRP decking is that they are maintenance-free, corrosion resistance, and have a high skid resistance. Don't like those skid marks, boy. That's that. Okay, let's see. Services, design, manufacture, about. Team, let's look up the team. Oh, the team, meet the team. Shauna Sewell, Adam Flemley. No Brian Mullin on this one. Turner Trivet, Leah Flemley, Jack Hertzfield. Oh yeah, I trust that guy. Oh, that's it. Let's see what Jack Hertzfield's bio is. Haven't seen him yet. Jack is a fabricator for Airte Engine Structures who works in the manufacturing of FRP pedestrian bridges. Jack began working for Airte Structures in 2019. Playing an essential role in bridge production. He has worked on several successful bridge projects, including the Grandfather Golf and Country Club project, where he participated in the fabrication and delivery of 5 FRP bridges. Jack is also a licensed drone operator and also assists Airte Structures, sister company Airte Engineers, with the inspection of DOT road bridges when needed. Jack graduated from Appalachian State University in 2018 with a BS in Sustainable Development. He is interested in making things and spends time doing various shop improvements. Jack lives in West Jefferson, North Carolina, with his wife, Kayla, and daughter, Kate. Because, again, that's what you do to prove that you're real, right? You prove you're real by doing it that way. Oh, shit. I went back. I didn't mean to. Bring up that team again. Because I want to look up what's his name's wife. Flemley's wife. Leah Flemley is a 2003 graduate of Clarion University in Pennsylvania with a bachelor's degree in communication. After graduating from college, Leah began work in Milford, Delaware as an account executive for the Light FM Christian radio station. She then went to work as an account executive at the Word FM in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. At both radio stations, Leah worked closely with clients that wanted to grow their business through the avenue of Christian radio advertising. Leah also built and maintains an existing account base for Carl Enterprises, an automotive undercoating company based out of Butler, Pennsylvania. After moving to North Carolina with her husband and children, Leah began work with Airte Structures in the sales department. Leah enjoys working with contractors, landscape architects, and trail builders, helping them to see the value of using prefabricated fiber reinforced polymer bridges on their trail projects. At Airte, Leah can help the customer understand where they will see cost savings in the installation process and lifespan of the product. Leah lives in Lenoir, North Carolina with her husband and 4 children. Let's see their products. I want to see their projects. What projects do they have done? They don't really have any projects. Oh, shit. Look at them actually making some blog posts. So their blog actually works here. Surge of construction of new pedestrian bridges, February 2021 or 21 20 February 21st, 2023. There is currently a surge of construction of new trails being built throughout the United States and Canada. The funding from Great America Trails Act is finally making its Oh, okay. There's currently a surge of new trails being built. The funding Great America Trails make its way to construction. May in urban and new trail systems may in urban environments such as greenway systems. However, often trail systems are in rural and or extremely remote settings. May new trail systems may in urban environments such as greenway. Okay. So how do you build bridges in the middle of nowhere? There's a solution that is very niche because it is fairly uncommon. It is a fairly uncommon building material. The material is called fiber reinforcement polymer, FRP. If you have ever climbed a fiberglass ladder, you were being fully supported by FRP. FRP materials are made using a process known as pultrusion. Pultrusion gets its name because the material is pulled out of the die rather than a molten steel or aluminum that is extruded through the die. FRP materials are made of mostly glass. Jesus, this is a long ass thing. Well, that's interesting. How long does it take to build a bridge beam? This is February 23rd, 2000. Oh, so this is funny. So we have their latest blog post, which is February 21st, 2023. The previous blog post was February 23rd, 2022. How long does it take to build a bridge beam? As a bridge manufacturer and supplier, we are sometimes asked, how long does it take to build a bridge beam? Oh, to build a beam bridge. Sorry. There's that dyslexia kicking in. I read bridge beam over and over again. That's so weird. And then all of a sudden it like clicks over and you're like, oh yeah, that makes more sense, doesn't it? A beam bridge. It's made of beams, light beams. The easy answer is that assembly of a fiber reinforced polymer beam bridge, other known as a stringer bridge, is fast and easy for bridges spanning 10 to 20 feet. If you use a crew of 2 people, it only takes 1 or 2 days to span 1 or 2 days per span to assemble the bridge using only hand tools. However, the reality is that the whole process takes longer from start to finish. 9 steps, okay. So that was 2020. We have a year almost to the day. It was 2 days after the 1 year thing. Specific specifications of a beam bridge when requesting a quote. February 16th, 2022. 10 benefits of FRP fabricated bridges, February 16th, 2022. Beam bridge facts about design, FRP, and airtay structures, February 14th, 2022. Beam bridge versus suspension bridge, February 10th, 2022. Pedestrian bridge standards and their importance, February 9th. February, how to build an ATV bridge, February 2nd. What to expect from a pedestrian footbridge manufacturer, February 1st. 4 uses of fiber reinforced. Let's see. Here we go. January 17th, January 14th, How to build a water tank tower, January 7th. Then we drop back to November 23rd, 2021. November 23rd, 2021. October 29th, 21, October 29th, 21, October 29th, or October 6th, 2021, October 6th, 2021, October 10th, October 10th, or September 10th, 2021. September 1st, 2021, September 1st, 2021. So what's crazy is I'm just sort of jumping and I'm not really paying attention. I'm looking at the dates. But the articles are, hang on a second. Oh shit. Go back to the blog. Okay. So they have this picture of people walking, okay? This picture of the kid standing by the bridge, I guess. Then we have this bridge. Oops. Okay, that bridge. ATV. How to build an ATV bridge manufacturers, okay? That's 2022. What to expect from a pedestrian footbridge, for uses of the reinforcement, okay? Okay, this is, so the cost of building a pedestrian bridge, the 17. 4 factors to consider for your hiking trail bridge, January 14th. How to build a water tank tower, that's the 7th. What types of truss bridges are there and which to select, the 23rd. Look at that picture. How does a truss bridge work when compared to a beam bridge? November 23rd. Truss beam bridges are both pretty good. What does a truss bridge look like and what are the benefits? October 29th. What is the purpose of a truss bridge? What types of truss bridges are there? Like, it's the same picture. Same picture. Same basic article. A truss bridge is a variation of a beam bridge design that includes multiple horizontal. Okay, it's decently long. All right. Okay, same picture. How to design a truss bridge. Same picture as before. What are beam bridges commonly built from past to present? What makes a bridge strong? Beam truss. Fake picture. Oh, look, same picture. What are the strengths of a beam bridge? Pros and cons, September 1st. What is a truss bridge? Design and material considerations, September 1st. It's the same. Here's that picture from before. What is a beam bridge? Important information. FRP versus steel pedestrian bridge comparison, June 21st. What you should know about bridge kits for creeks, June 17th. Use of fiber reinforced polymers in bridge construction, May 13th. Top pedestrian bridge design concepts, May 7th. Oh, look, here we are again. 3 pedestrian bridge design examples, April 29th. Oh, here we are again. 3 types of footing bridges and tips on designing one, April 21st. The importance of pedestrian bridgeway, somebody's kids, April 14th. You see a pattern here? Need to know information when calculating the cost of a bridge, May 31st. Learn about trail planning fundamentals, May 26th. And it's weird because these blogs don't have any comments or anything like that on them. They're just weird little posts. Advantages and disadvantages of pedestrian bridges, May 25th. I believe that's verbatim one, right? It's time to harness North Carolina's trail market, May 17th. Did you know about the connection trails can have health can have on Did you know about the connection trails can have on your health? The connection? May 12th. Are you ready to learn about trail funding strategies? May 5th. Oh, look, we're back here again. Importance of a pedestrian bridge, February 19th. Different types of bridges, February 19th. I think we read that one already. You see how they just repeated themselves over and over? And then there's nothing. It's 2021 is when this is when it starts, I guess. And it's funny too because when you pull up the blog, this company has posted one. They were big blog posters, I guess. But how many times can you keep posting the same thing? Surge of new pedestrian bridges, February 21st, 2023. How long does it take to build a beam bridge? February 23rd, 2022. It's like they were like, oh shit, we got to post something. I mean, there seems to be a lot of work involved. But again, their team is 4 people strong, and they've had no changes, no movement since 2019. And how did this guy come aboard in 2019 when was his company going in 2019? So let's see, did Sean Ausell, this fucking chosen doofus, Airtay Structures. Okay, so we're back here now. I want to go to their blog. Let's see their blog. What have they added since I last looked? Because it was nothing. So their latest post on this one was February 21st, 2023. And this one is FEMA permitting study for bridge replacement. Then we have January 19th, 2023. Why invest in structural engineering when building a home? Then we have the cost of structural engineering, January 30th, 2022, or June 30th. So we have two that are a month apart, February once a month in 2023, and then you got to jump back 6 months to June 3rd, the cost of structural engineering. And I bet these are just different pictures. I should have read more of those articles, but I couldn't. Can you please answer me because I'm just so happy? Well, good for you, man. I'm happy. You should tell your subscribers to check out some of this stuff because this is investigative journalism at its finest. At least I know you can comment too. That's cool. Nice to meet you, though. How are bridges engineered? Bridges are very complex structures that take into... Hey, these are the same articles. June 24th, 2022. June 21st. What kind of engineer builds bridges? June 21st. Building bridges has become a popular metaphor for bringing people together. May 31st. Structural engineer versus architect. Yeah. Concrete bridge inspections. May 3rd, 2022. How much is a structural engineer's inspection? May 25th. Here in Blowing Rock, North Carolina, Airtay structural assessments of homes start at about $850 and go up to about 2,000 depending on the size, complexity, age, and distance of the property from blowing rock. That's insane. That's a lot of money. May 6th, what do structural engineers do? Do you need a commercial structural engineer? May 6th, 2022. Foundation inspection by a structural engineer, May 3rd, 2022. Why would you want to bother bringing a structural engineer? That's what it says earlier, right? They're not messing up like that. Could have sworn I read that. Was it on the other one? Architect versus engineer versus contractor. I know that was one. How much does a structural engineer cost? Didn't we just look that up? How much is a structural engineer's inspections? May 25th, 2022. How much does a structural engineer cost? April 29th, 2022. A structural engineer typical range 343 to 724. Here in Blowing Rock, Airtech engineers structural assessments of homes start at about $850 and go up to about $2,000, depending on the size, complexity, age, and distance of the property from Blowing Rock. You see it? What is a building engineer? Do I need one? April 8th. Structural engineer building inspection, May 31st. Repair and rehabilitation of bridges, May 28th. Look at it. Fake picture. Unless the sky is white somewhere. Types of cracks in concrete structures, May 24th. When do you need a structural engineer? May 8th, 2022. Specific value of structural engineer home inspection, May 5th. What to know about structural infrastructure engineering, May 4th. May 3rd, value of structural engineering building design. Importance of structural engineering building design, February 22nd. Jump back a few weeks. Learn about structural analysis, engineers' responsibilities. May 15th, building surveyor and structural engineer, May 8th. Or February, was that May? February 8th, sorry, it was February. February. Yeah, I don't know why I was saying May. When to contact structural engineering for cracks in walls. There we go again. February 3rd. February 2nd, learn about hiring a structural engineer for retaining walls. February 1st, what factors do engineers consider when designing a bridge? Effects of cracks in concrete structures, June 31st. What kind of engineer designs bridges? January 27th. I know I've read that already. I had this exact question when I was a young man in the U.S. Army. That's pretty funny. Martin Russ at Spratt Training. Airtech engineers awarded. Oh, okay, so here we go. That's January 27th. We jump now to March 11th, 2019 with Martin Russ at Spratt Training. And then we jump to Airtech engineers awarded contract for North Carolina Dot Structures Management Support. October 13th, 2015. That's strange. Airtech Engineers has been selected to provide services for the department under the Structures Management Unit's limited service contract for 2015 Structures Management Support limited service contract by the North Carolina Department of Transportation Professional Services Management Unit. Wonder why. That was October 13th. October 2nd, 2015. NC Dot Small Professional Services Firm. Airtech receives approval as small professional services firm with North Carolina dot. So it seems like Airte receives approval as a small professional services firm with North Carolina dot. So they didn't exist, right? As of October 2nd, Airte Engineers approved as North Carolina dot private consulting firm. So I don't even know why, like, they weren't a small professional services firm before that. But they get this on October 2nd. And then on October 13th, they're awarded with the management support. But then, so they were approved as NC dot private consulting firm on October 2nd, 2015. After that, they received their professional services firm thing on October 2nd. And then 11 days later, they're awarded the contract for the North Carolina dot structures management support. That's fucking crazy. And then the first post is joint elimination presentation. Read Sean's presentation at the National Bridge Preservation Conference. Joint elimination as a preservation technique. Oh, that was a PDF. I didn't mean to do that. I hope I didn't do it. Oh, okay, I didn't. I'm not downloading shit from this page. Available positions. If you are ready for a new challenge and want to be part of a growing team, send your contact information and resume to info@ourteengineers.com. Bridge inspection, engineering and inspection. Airte Engineers PLLC is a professional services firm located in Blowing Rock, North Carolina, and Morganton, North Carolina. We provide engineering services to state DOTs, Department of Transportation, municipal agencies, residential and commercial clients. We are currently seeking candidates for full-time bridge engineering and inspection position. In the role of bridge engineer, we will count on you to diligently draw from your education and experience to design and engineer various types of bridges, platforms, NBS bridges inspections and bridge ratings, apply structural engineering using steel, concrete, FRP, and timber materials, develop integrated designs, and be creative while providing our clients the most cost-effective solutions. Perform other duties as needed. That's interesting. Doesn't say anything about building signs, building, putting signs in the ground, fixing a guy's deck, building a treehouse. Pretty interesting. Required qualifications: BS in civil engineering, EIT, a commitment to integrate as a team member into our company culture, related internship experience. Preferred qualifications: Masters in civil engineering, STAD, RAM concept, StruCalc, SolidWorks, and MicroStation. experience with NC bridge design, experience with NBIS bridge inspection and rating. Benefits: competitive wage, 401k, health and life insurance, PTO and flex time, profit sharing and bonuses. Structural Engineering. Airte Engineers PLCC is a professional services firm located in Blowing Rock, North Carolina, and Morganton, North Carolina. We provide engineering services to state dots. We are currently seeking structural engineering position. In the role, we will count on you to diligently draw from your experience to. Didn't I just fucking read this? Bridge engineering and inspection, structural engineering. It's literally the same fucking thing. Instead of bridge engineering and inspection position, it says structural engineering per se. We diligently draw from your education experience to design and engineer various types of bridges, perform bridge inspections, apply structural engineering using this, that, develop, integrated. Okay. Qualifications: BS in civil engineering, EIT, a commitment to integrated team, blah, 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 my strand. Okay. Structural engineering. The role of structural engineer, we will count on you to diligently draw from your education and experience to engineer and design commercial buildings and residential homes, apply structural engineering uses to concrete, steel, FRP, and other materials, develop integrated designs, and will be creative while providing our clients with the most cost-effective solutions, perform other duties as needed. BS in civil engineering, EIT, a commitment to integrate as a team member into our company culture, related internship experience, preferred qualifications, Masters in Civil Engineering, STAD, RAM Concepts, Strelax, SolidWorks, and MicroStation, Commercial and Residential Structural Design, competitive wage, 401k, health and life insurance, PTO, flex time, profit sharing, and bonuses. So the funny thing is, again, say you wanted to talk. You wouldn't call a company that's closed on the weekend, like any reasonable fucking business, especially that claims it has 2 locations. You'd call Sean Alsel's cell phone. Isn't that interesting? I mean, I it would be one thing if, again, these blog posts were consistent. Like it's weird how it works. And it's the repeating over and over again. I mean, it reminds me of it's theater, man. It reminds me of Hollywood. It's like when you pause in the movies, on the articles, and and you read what's in the article that's shown, and it's all just bullshit, you know, or portions of it are, or whatever. But they always repeat themselves. There's always like this section's used again, and because you're just gonna look at it for a second anyway. How crazy is that shit, man? So then, like I said, I contact. I mean, why isn't the Brian Mullin video everywhere? I don't understand. I really don't get that. There's nothing about that makes sense to me. Right? Why would the Brian Mullin video only have 500 views, or 1,000, 11, 1,200 views between them? That don't make no sense. This guy has been, whoa. This guy has been missing for years. Like people care about this guy. What the fuck is this? Oh, this is my bad eyes. There's a mushroom growing, a slimy ass mushroom. There's a mushroom growing. Looks like a shroom. It's weird. Looks like it's all glittery. Look at this thing. Doesn't it look like it's glittering? You know, this is, the whole thing is just, it's so crazy. It really is. Like, you know, in my position, I really don't get a lot of confirmation, right? You have to use logic and reasoning to make a lot of this shit come together. Oh, wow. That's funny. You have to use logic and reasoning so much of the time to make it come together, because you're not going to get any sort of, like I say, are you hoping the government comes in and says, yes, this is exactly the conspiracy, this is the truth, and we've been lying to you? Is that what you think is going to happen? That's not how it works. So you have to be smarter than needing to be told every little thing. You have to be able to find it. And you have to use your deductive reasoning to make it work. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel. If you find something that contradicts something you believe in a way that you can't deny it, you can't just keep going with the previous thing. That's when you become the asshole. You know, that's how most Christians are. That's how most religious people are. You know, they've come across more than enough to show them that you know, something is fucking way off, that they're wrong. And instead of going with it and allowing that thought to blossom and see where it takes them, they end up getting mad and attacking whatever is causing that disruption. And they make themselves feel better by attacking the source, whether it's physically or you know, with their words or whatever, just to if they can convince themselves that the person giving them the information is bad, then the information is bad. And I you know, it's how I got to Brian Mullin in the first place. It's because I was willing to be wrong, and I didn't want to be. Like when it came to the earth shape thing, I didn't want Christians to be able to be like, see, it says it in the Bible. The problem being, most of them will still argue it. I literally got in this big fight with a friend of mine and his caretaker because of this the other day, last week. If you're familiar with my Facebook page, then you're familiar with this story. But for those that aren't, it was such a typical conversation for me. That's the crazy part. It's such a typical, what it's like to talk to Christians, what it's like to talk to females. conversation that I've had it so many times, the same conversation, some irritating conversation, had it so many times. And, and so I do my best to avoid it most of the time. And I've been at this person's house many times. It's a guy I know. He buys baseball cards off of me. Um, but he's, we're just cool. He hangs out, we hang out, we smoke a little, and we just hang out. And she's his caretaker. He's a disabled vet, so she's his caretaker. And he's a cool dude. He's he's very jovial personality type, and whatever. He's a good guy, but he's military disabled, got PTSD real bad, and all kinds of shit. So he's got this caretaker, and she's it's fucked up because she's the main female in his life. She's with him like 8 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So they end up spending more time together than they do with their, than she does with her husband. And I'm not saying that there's anything physical between them, even a little bit. I don't think there is. I know there's not. But the dynamic is still there, where she's, she acts like she's the wife. And so many females have such a hard time with equality. It's really strange, right? Because equality means I'm not trying to fuck you. And if I'm not trying to fuck you, I just treat you like a normal person, like I would a dude or whatever. Then all of that cutesy bullshit, all of those rules that you normally live by go out the window. You don't just get to interrupt. You don't get to, oh, I'm going to say my final piece, and you're just going to, all the stuff chicks like to do. It's weird. It's like, I respect you and all that. I'm not trying to fuck you. I deal with one woman shit. That's it. Just my wife's. My wife's shit is the only woman that I'll put up with that girlfriendy, wifey bullshit. The rest of the time, if you're rude, I'm going to tell you you're rude. If you're being a bitch, I'm going to tell you you're being a bitch. Why are you being such a bitch? I don't care. I don't have anything to lose by you getting mad at me. And so, and I said this about her before, like she's not attractive, but I bet at the local bar she goes to, she's the hot girl there. She's the hot girl at her bar. And she's got a bubbly personality, and she's a very Michigan girl. She just is. I mean, there's a lot of boxes she checks. And she believes in God, and she talks about it like a lot. And at some point, I said something, and she goes, wait. So you don't believe in God? You don't believe the earth is round? You don't believe? And she said something. I said, wait. Let me ask you a question, because clearly you don't know what it is. I said, what's the first thing that God does? It's funny how many Christians don't know this. Like, this is the first thing. It's like, if I ask you what's the first commandment, thou shalt not steal, or whatever, thou shalt not kill, whatever. I don't know. If I ask you what the Constitution says and what the amendments are, you're going to give me the first one, no problem. Freedom of speech, number one. Right? Like, we all know the first thing. You would think the Bible would be similar. You would know the first thing that God does. Face traveling along the waters of the deep, looking in the aquarium thing. Like, it's really funny to think about, like, you just put it on the spin, like it's just a guy doing like this, like looking like that, except it's a big aquarium, looking at the waters of the deep. God turns on the light, right? Not the sun, the light. God turns on the light. Sun's not made until fourth day. And what's the first thing he does after he turns on the light? And neither one of them knew. And my buddy claims, he keeps claiming, oh, I've read the Bible, dude, I've read it. And he's neglecting to say that last time he read it, because I found this out later on in the conversation. Last time he read it, he was going into the Army or going into the Marines when he was 18. He's like older, I think he's like 48 now, so like 30 years ago. I don't know, I'm not kidding. And she says, well, I'm not very good at the scriptural stuff. And it's like, right, so why do you believe in something when you don't even know what it says? And she's like, and, of course that makes her mad. So I'm like, the first thing God does is he builds the firmament. He builds the dome. He separates the waters of the heavens from the earth down below with the firmament, with the dome. And they're like, firmament? What do you mean? I don't know that word. I said, it's funny you don't know that word. It appears 17 times in the Bible. What Bible are you talking about? King James Bible? Do you know who King James was? Goes into that a little bit. But it's not, it's the firmament. It's where the stars live and shit. And she's just getting madder and madder. And she's coming at me with that whole thing that I get a lot. Like, you just always got to be right. Why do you always got to be right about everything, You just think you're so smart. You just got to always make people feel stupid because they don't know. Because at one point, she says, so wait, you don't believe in nothing? And I said, no, that's a double negative. So it's not that I don't believe in nothing. I just don't believe what you believe. But before I could say that, oh yeah, see, why you got to say it like that? I mean, I'm answering your question. I'm sorry your question was stupid. I'm sorry you were too stupid to say you don't believe in anything. But and I try to say, I believe in man. I believe in what we're capable of, and that we built all this stuff, and we gave you that religion. And by this point, she's everything I'm trying to say, she keeps interrupting. Oh, and what about she just keeps getting madder, and I'm like, why are you getting so upset? I'm not mad. And it's just getting out of control, and it's such a typical conversation with such an idiot Christian. I mean, they're all so dumb. How do you believe in something that you're so ignorant on? And so she gets mad and storms outside for a cigarette. Is her excuse, but she actually goes and tries to prove she's trying to prove me wrong, right? That's the thing. I'm the arrogant asshole because I know shit. She's not the arrogant asshole because I have to be wrong. Not sure why I have to be wrong, but I have to be wrong. And she's going to find out how. She's going to prove it. And she comes storming back in, and me and him are talking. And we're actually talking about King James at the time. And we're just, him and I are cool about it. He's like, and I'm pointing out that clearly, and this is when I find out he hasn't read the Bible since he was 18 and shit. And we're sort of talking. She comes in, and she had been like popping in and saying shit like, oh yeah, because I'm just the airhead, right? Because while she was outside, I'm like, see, dude, this is why you can't talk to Christians, but especially females. This kind of bullshit. She thinks I'm her boyfriend. She thinks I'm her husband. She can just talk to me and treat me however she wants to. And he's just like smiling and like, but again, he has to live with this bitch basically. And she keeps coming, oh yeah, it's all my fault, isn't it? And it's like, what did you? So then she comes in. And we're in the middle of talking. And she goes, can I just say something? She raises her hand and she sits down and she looks at the dude. Like we're in a triangle, and she looks at him and she goes, "Can I just say something?" And I go, "Oh, so we should stop talking and focus on you?" And she goes, "No, but what I was getting," and she just starts going into it, and I go, "Oh, okay, so we are going to stop talking and focus on you." Okay. And I stop and I look at her and she goes, she gets all mad. It's like, you're getting what you want, you just don't like that I'm pointing out what you're doing. So then she's like, "Yeah, the firmament is it's a void. It's the void. It's the," and she's like talking and she's like, "He's just trying to use big words. And the firmament's just it's the." I said, "Listen, wait, stop. It's not the affirmament. It's or not the affirmant. It's not the affirmant. It's the firmament, and it's not my word. It's the Bible's word. It's your book's word. Why don't you know it? If I was in your shoes and somebody pointed something out to me about my thing that I didn't know, and it was a pretty prominent thing, I would say, oh shit, thank you. I didn't know about that. Let's try to figure out some more. I would want to know more. I would start looking into more. I wouldn't just sit there and deny somebody because I didn't know it. And it's this, and so eventually I go to leave and she's just pissed and she's storming around, stomping, temper tantruming around the house. And when I said, "It's not my word, it's the Bible," she goes, "Oh, what are you so mad about?" And I'm like, "I'm not mad. It's frustrating to talk to somebody so irritating, but I'm not mad. Like, this isn't going to affect I'm not going to lose sleep over this shit. It'll make a good story for me." But she's acting like such a child at one point, when I was pointing out, like, you're just interrupting everything I'm saying. And so then she starts raising her hand. So instead of interrupting full out, she's raising her hand to bring the attention. You're still interrupting, you child. And it's so fucking irritating, and it's so typical. And then when I go to leave, he comes out and he's like, "Dude, you can't be doing that shit. You can't, because I was like, "Man, sorry, at least I get to leave. You're going to have to deal with it." He's like, "Man, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "What am I supposed to do? Do you want me to disrespect her? When she's saying something, am I just supposed to placate her? And, yes, okay, whatever you say." It's not going to happen. She's not my thing.
Yeah, look, I'm a pirate now. Look,
nice.
My ship. Look, see, there's my cannons.
That's awesome. You built that?
No, I didn't build it, but I fixed it up. I got cannons.
Yeah. You fixed it up. It was just straight. But it's again, it's like, I'm. This is why I tried to avoid it. I tried to get out of it when we first started. I never want to talk to people about that shit, especially, somebody like him that, he's a cool dude and all. We're friendly, but he buys cards off me all the time. I don't want to screw that up. Because this crazy girl needs it to be a typical situation. A typical situation in these typical times. It's crazy how much Dave Matthews used to be a part of my life, and I never listen to him anymore. It's like one of the few concerts I've been to more than once. I don't even remember. That's so weird. I know I've been to at least one Dave Matthews concert. Did I go to two? Yes. No? I don't know. Such a waste. Such a fucking waste. All right. Getting close here. It's weird how the viewership keeps going from 2 to 3 to 1 to 3 to 2. And of course, nobody's commenting, as always. So nobody watching this has anything to say about anything I'm talking about. That just seems strange to me. Talking about religion, talking about politics, talking about Israel, talking about Brian Mullin. Nothing. None of this shit makes you like. And the thing is, I don't want people to be like. I mean, I appreciate it when people agree with me, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm really hoping for intelligent discourse here. I'm hoping for somebody to come in and tell me what the fuck I'm wrong about. Be respectful. I'll be respectful. You know, the thing though, it's always so funny because religious people, especially, well, not just religious people, actually, they always hide behind that. They hide behind that disrespectful, and they hide behind their feet, that bullshit. Like, what you're saying hurts my feelings. It bothers me that you're pointing out that Christians are the biggest pedophile supporters in the world. Like, that Christians are the biggest Satanists in the world. Only people I ever know, ever hear talking about Satan is Christians. And that the power that they give to him is unbelievable. Hey, duty boy.
I love you.
I love you too, man.
I love you too. I love you even more than nothing more.
Impossible. So, it's, I mean, and that's, see, that's the thing. It's like, you know, that's what happens when you're talking about somebody's thing with them and they don't know they don't know their thing. They don't know their own thing. It's so difficult. Because you just, like, I'm where I am because I've looked into things. I'm where I am because I you know, yes, I've watched lots of videos, but in recent times, I've stopped watching videos and started looking for myself. And the you know, the one thing that sort of, like, for me, talking about Brian Mullin is counterproductive. If it wasn't for its connection to me, it'd be, and then the strangeness. I mean, there is some strange aspects to it, but like the fact that the video only has a few hundred views, that's just crazy to me. But it really, you know, Brian Mullin, Earth-shaped shit. I always said the Earth-shaped argument was the most important one for us to solve because it's the easiest to solve. And once we prove that it's been just a big lie the whole time, Earth-shaped lies, it's going to be easy to, you know, anytime somebody brings, you know, you talk about something and they go, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. And you go, oh, you mean like the Earth shape? And they'd have to be, oh, yeah, maybe you're right. Like, that's going to open the door to so many things. Why were they lying about? Like, it just opens so many doors, so many eyes. And it's the easiest one. And it's the, you know, it's the one that people have the least amount of stake in. You know, what stake do you have in the Earth being around? Why does it bother you? I know why it bothered me. It bothered me because I didn't want that Christian thing to be. I didn't want Christianity to have any sort of leg up on this. I didn't want them to have that ability to be like, I told you so. Hmm. That's why I didn't want to believe it. and I was worried that it was true. Before I went down that path, I was like, yeah, this is starting to, because the me in me, before I even looked into it, had that we didn't go to the moon, that was crazy, that we never got through the Van Allen radiation belts and blah blah, that programming. And it's because of that, and it's because of how I've been treated my whole life, being somebody that doesn't believe what everybody else believes, Jesus wise. And I see how people treat other people. I come at the argument with thought, logic, and reason, and all I get is childish nonsense. Well, when it comes to the earth-shaped stuff, it's like that same attitude is how round earthers look at flat earthers, that it's just a joke. And especially for me, because it like specifically has the religious connection. I was so turned off by it and pushed back, and like I just resisted it so much. And I thought, I'm smart enough, I can watch one of these videos. I've seen these videos come up so much because at the time they were everywhere. I mean, even Facebook or even YouTube was suggesting them sometimes. But I figured I was all fucked up on opiates from my surgery. I just had surgery on my arm, and my pain medication was flowing. And I thought, yeah, I'm smart enough to debunk this shit. Wait, stop! I saw it happening. I saw the future. Yep. I was about to start screaming. You saw me looking like, uh-oh. No fun.
You said you can't. You said he can't hit me because you know I got your package.
Right. I was thinking, man, it would be really rude if she got hit, and I was like, can I get my packages out of your bag? Have a great day. Wow. Fax-ridden hay drove. Hello. That's a name right there. Man, I don't remember what I was talking about. Fuck, what was I talking about? I don't remember. I don't want to sit here thinking about it, all the dead air. The flat earth. Oh, so I was watching it. I went into it thinking I'm smart enough to debunk this shit. And within about 10 minutes, I was like, fuck. I was presented with stuff I couldn't argue. I was presented with information, and I watched Under the Dome by Mark Sargent, the first time. That was my introduction to it. I wish I would have went 200 proofs at first, because it's funny, like all the other guys seemingly go after Eric Dubé. And I thought that was weird. Like, why are you targeting this guy? But I didn't know. But I watched it and I just thought, dude, there's just no way. Like, it's 20 at the time, like 17 or 16 maybe. No, it was surgery, so it was 15. Yeah, it's 15. Like, there shouldn't be is the earth flat argument. If the earth is round, there should not be a question. It's too late in our history for there to still be any questions, if that is in fact the truth. And that's where I just thought it was like, it was strange. But like I said, you know, before I went into it, I knew, like, I know how people react to things. And I always used to question, like, well, why do people believe it? It's 2009, it's 2005, it's 1999. Why do people believe the earth isn't round? Why do people believe we didn't go to the moon? And then why do people treat them the same way they treat me when I say there's no God? And it was those those little pieces were always there. Nagging little pieces. Making me question it and thinking something's and then there's always too, like, the historical questions. You can't tell me. I saw this picture yesterday. I think it was from like 1850 or 65 or something, and it was Washington. And it was like this lone guy standing on the steps of a building with these Greek pillars, you know, these Colosseum pillars behind it. And then in the distance, there was a big dome structure with a big thing on the top. And you just think, like, it looks old. It doesn't look like it's spanking new. Even though it's black and white, the buildings still look really old. And you go, well, this is this is mid-18, late 1800s. Who built all that shit? How'd they build all that shit? Look at just all of the great infrastructure of the world. The Roman aqueducts, the pyramids. And then not just the pyramids in Egypt, the whole South America, all of South America is just littered with all these pyramids and structures and these fucking places that defy imagination, defy historical context. And it's like, you know, as far as we know, as far as, like, when we talk about history, it's all white man's history. It's all European history. It's like, our history is, we came here. It's not like here existed and there was a history here before we got here. There was no here. Once we got here, then the here was here. And that's how they sort of present it to us. And we forget that there's this immense amount of history that just defies explanation. Well, it defies the common, the accepted explanation. Or it's just, you know, a lot of times they say, well, how did we build all those ancient churches? Well, the truth is, we don't know. That information was lost. You know, the history lost that information. Oh yeah, we lost how we went to the moon. We lose things. Like, it's sitting on the table, turned around, did some shit, came back, and it wasn't there. I could have sworn I set it on the table. Oh well, it's gone. Anyway. Somebody's gotta go make lunch. Strange times we live in. You think I want to be the guy that is the pariah? That says, hey, I don't believe the history you're telling me. I think it's all a lie. And then have everybody, you know, either be mean, laugh, dismiss. You know, there's a range of negative emotions that come my way. I say it all the time, man. If I wanted to be popular, I'd just sell you Jesus. That shit's a proven commodity. Works like gangbusters. Anyway. Thanks. See you.